Hello everybody, Charles from the Bible Unbound, and today we've got something from Holman Publishing. It's a pre-release version of the NASB Note-Taking Bible in large print. So Holman sent us a pre-release copy of the NASB 2020 Note-Taking Bible of theirs, and I've been impressed with what I've seen so far with that. A lot of their products recently have been really on par for their more affordable lines, and this is no exception. So as we take a look at some of the features on the back here, so this is actually coming out to be a 10.5 font size. So this is one of the larger font sizes I've seen in just about any of the journaling Bibles I have. And a lot of your basic journaling Bibles are going to be somewhere between maybe an 8 and even a 7 font I've seen on a couple. I think this is a slightly larger font size than my wife's journaling Bible, which I'll have to check later too. Has a nice 2-inch lined margins on the sides, Smyth-sewn lay flat binding, and we'll show more about that in a moment. Black letter text, there's no red letter text in this, so the words of Christ are in black all the way through, just like most of the NASBs that you'll find. Has 2 ribbon markers, a very nice 1-year reading plan, it's in the back as well, full color maps, and the 6 1/4 by 8 3/4 page size. So I really like this. Has this nice, slip case, so you can actually set it on your shelf and it'll set really nice in there. A lot of your leather soft Bibles, you're probably better storing them on their side because they'll actually dip down here, and eventually you could kind of do some damage to your spine. But these nice slip covers help kind of alleviate that. Taking a look at this is a nice, they're calling it what is it, suede leather soft. It's very nice. It has definitely a suede feel to it. It's nice and soft. And it has a NASB, Holy Bible, New American Standard Bible, and Holman that is gilded on here in this nice silver. And it's a silver art gilding all the way around. And it comes with 2 ribbons. Nice little teal ribbon here and a white ribbon. These look to be more shiny on one side than the other, so these are probably single-sided. They're not very thick. They're just over a 1/4 inch thick. Very nice. And we'll actually open this up and take a look at the inside. Now it's stitched all the way around. That looks nice. With your paste page, these corners actually turned out pretty nice too. Then your cardstock page, heavy into your presentation page. Nice, simple presentation page. The Holy Bible, New American Standard Bible, NASB Holman, and your copyright page. So it looks like there are 2 different bindings to this. There is a cinnamon brown cloth overboard, which I've seen some of the pictures on that. That looks really nice. I'll probably put a picture up here to show you guys what it looks like. And this is like the first printing 2024, so this isn't even actually out yet. This, if you're watching this in October, this probably is going to be out mid-November. So your table of contents, Old Testament, New Testament. There's a couple nice sections in the back, especially for a newer believer, with a where to turn section. Your daily Bible reading plan, which you'll look at more, which is really nice, and a good topical index. I like the way they did that. So this nice 10.5 point font, you can see really well even looking in the preface in the beginning. You'll hear me say this on every single one of my reviews. If it's the first time you're reading this translation, go through that preface at least one time, because there's usually going to be some special notes in here about their textual type, their textual basis, and any other special markings in here that will help you understand what they're actually displaying for you. And you'll notice it right here about this with the abbreviation and markings. These text brackets here that you'll see in these different types of brackets usually are a supplied word or phrase to actually help you understand what's in the text that may not actually be in the text or is not in some of the older manuscripts. Now the King James Bible would tend to use an italic font for any special words that aren't actually in the text that would make more sense, but that's not actually in the text. And they try to do that with the bracketing system here too. Now when we open up into the Old Testament, you'll see even on Genesis, this lay flat that they said it is, pressed on there and let go. Look at that. That is actually laying flat. Just pressing that. That's impressive. Right on the first page of Genesis. And I think it would almost do it. Let's go back here. Yeah, it'll go back to the presentation page and still lay flat and stay open. Very nice. Now, as we take a look at the text, it's very dark, very well printed. It looks like it's line matched. And that nice 2-inch spaces on the sides with these lined, dotted lines. I mean, there's plenty of space for any of the notes that you might want to take in here. The text is actually large enough that they're not putting any, looks like they're not putting any references on the bottom or textual footnotes on the bottom. So they're freeing up that space to actually have the text a little bit larger and be a lot more readable. Good amount of space in between each of the lines of text for underlining, marking, and highlighting. It looks like this will take very well to that. We'll go in and you can see the way the show through looks here right at the end of Genesis. You can tell there's a lot of show through, but that line matching helps your readability. If you can find a line matched Bible, that's what they're going for. And this nice thin paper, it helps if it's lined on top of each other so that it makes it a little bit more crisp. Now, we've had some Bibles that weren't line matched, but if they're line matched, the line matching is off enough that each of the successive pages lay on top of each other enough to where it kind of blots out anything but the next page, which still is pretty readable. We'll jump forward into a poetic section. So let's jump forward into the Psalms and take a look there. So into the Psalms, even with the show through, it's still very crisp, very readable. I actually like this. It's pretty sharp. Jump through a little bit more and head back toward the New Testament so I can show you guys that this is not a red letter Bible. You can see right in the middle of Mark. We'll go back a little bit to Matthew, maybe Matthew 5, where you can see, so in the middle of Beatitudes, this would be all Jesus talking. So you can definitely tell a black letter Bible there because you don't have any red text that would be specifically Jesus talking. Very nicely done. I do like how easily readable this is. Very nice. Go to the back of the page and I'll show you a little bit more in the back of the Bible here, some of the features in the back. So as we get to the end of Revelation, there is a full sheet of lined note paper on both sides. It's very nice. I like seeing, especially in note-taking Bibles, a couple of extra pages of just either blank pages or note pages, so that way you can have any extra notes that you would normally not be able to fit in little columns. Now this section is they're calling it where to turn. It's nice little helpful hints, especially if you were a newer believer, to kind of find your way through maybe a question that you might have, or like here where when you're tired, when you lose a loved one, when you feel weak, when you're anxious, things like that. It has the scripture reference and it has the page number. So it makes it that much easier for you to find, especially if you're not as familiar with the Bible and where the books are actually spread out. Then it goes into a table of weights and measures. And then you've got this really nice daily Bible reading plan. Now, I follow a digital plan, which actually nudges you daily and kind of gives you that, hint that you're behind in your reading plan and kind of trying to encourage you to keep up on the plan to catch back up. Now, the way that they're doing it here, they're breaking them out by weeks. And it looks like you've got a section of the Psalms for the entire week, plus an Old Testament and a New Testament section. You can go through these daily. I think they intend on you to go through an Old Testament and a New Testament daily for each of these. You don't necessarily have to go in order, but you kind of check off these boxes as you go to keep track. And the nice idea behind this, in my opinion, would be that if you missed a day or part of a week, you don't feel as much pressure to catch that up. But when you do have time to go and catch it up, you can then just go back to the section that you haven't read yet, so you can check that box and keep going. It's a nice way, and it's a full, 52-week plan. Plus, they have some optional readings on here for Easter and Christmas. It's a nice little plan. I like that. And this brings us to our New American Standard Bible Topical Index. Now, this is kind of a cross between a Bible dictionary and a concordance. And what I like that they've done of this is that it is the same text size, if not a little bit bigger. So your actual topics are slightly larger than that 10-point font. And it looks like the text itself is that same 10-point font. So it's extremely readable. And that section is pretty thick. So, if you jump in here, you'll see like laws, where it's giving a basic description plus chapter verse references, should say, sporadically throughout it. I like the way that they handled that. A straight concordance, while giving you a lot of information, doesn't always give you a basic explanation of certain biblical terms, and this does a good job of that. And after we get there, it looks like, I just noticed that. So there is a couple of pages in the very back of just blank paper, which would be excellent for notes. I know it's kind of filler paper, but this would be excellent for any extra notes you want to put in there. And then go to the maps in the back. Now these maps are a slightly thicker paper, almost a cardstock, but it's roughly the same color, so it's not that jarring experience where you can kind of tell exactly where the maps are just from looking at the edge of the binding. Very good coloring. Even though it is that same off-white, the colors look really good still. It's pretty nice. You got your back paste-in sheet. And that nice stitch work all the way around. I mean, they did a good job on that stitch work. Very nice. And this cover, I like this leather soft. This is like nice, and it has that, definitely has that feel to it, that suede feel. Very nice. It looks really well with this blind stamping on here and this silver. It goes pretty good with the silver gilding. I don't think a gold gilding would look as well on this. Maybe a bronze, maybe, but I do like the silver they used. And the silver gilding seemed to be a little bit more durable to me. But yeah. Overall, this is really, really good. I've been impressed with a lot of the stuff that Holman's been putting out lately, even in their, what we'd consider more of a budget line. Things that are like a sub $50 to $60. You're getting some really good quality material coming out of them. A lot of the manufacturers are really stepping up their game to actually have good quality materials for an affordable price range. And I think they did a really good job on this. So with that, that's going to bring it to the end of this video. We always ask you to please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you like this. If you have another journaling Bible that you really prefer and that we can share with others so that we can give people more ideas of what's out there and what's really good. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you guys some of the better materials that you can get at an affordable price point. Now, we will show things from time to time that are a little bit more expensive to show you some of the differences of what's out there. But, always let me know if there's something that you guys want me to take a look at. And if it's something that we can actually feature on the channel, we'll do our best efforts to take a look and do that for you guys. So with that, we hope that you guys have a nice day, night, evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again in the next video.